Day 7 is hard, but can be beaten consistently if you know what to do. In this guide I will show you what tiles and upgrades to look for, how to deal with the corruption, some gameplay tips, and I will give you a detailed overview of the final boss. Now this should be obvious about a guide for Day 7, but spoilers for Day 7 if you are not there yet. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. When it comes to tiles, there are two things you should prioritize in my opinion, those being good mobility and attacks with more than one cello range. Good mobility is fairly obvious, it keeps you safe and lets you kill enemies quicker because it is faster than walking. The final boss also has a large arena, so this is even more pronounced there. Upgrade these to have a low cooldown so you can consistently escape danger. Ranged attacks are less obvious, but I find them no less important. They let you kill enemies more efficiently because you need to walk less. This is crucial in avoiding damage from key enemies like archers and dashers. They also let you combo kill more effectively, by killing the enemy behind your first target. Attacks with dead zone like Earth Impale are also recommended, because they effectively let you hide in front of a less dangerous enemy, while weakening or killing the more threatening enemy behind them. Now melee attacks are still valuable of course, but I often upgrade range tiles first. A well-upgraded range tile almost always outperforms a well-upgraded melee one. Additionally, the damage windows on the final boss are short and always start from one cell away, which means that ranged attacks don't need to waste precious time walking against them, so they're a better natural fit. On the note of upgrades, first and foremost I wouldn't reroll them too much. You don't get that much gold, and being able to buy skills and guarantee good upgrades at shops is more important than rerolling a suboptimal upgrade. Even mixed upgrades are often useful. Something like +1 damage and +1 cooldown is still valuable for a secondary damage tile. And -1 damage, -4 cooldown is great on mobility tiles because their job is to keep you safe and not necessarily to kill things. The only things I tend to reroll are Warrior's Gamble and Sacrifice tile. Sometimes I will reroll enchantments if I don't have a good tile to put it on. The added cooldown often isn't worth it on mobility tiles, and a tile that already one-shots things won't benefit much from something like Curse or Poison. Stat upgrades in shops are always guaranteed to be 100% positive, and for that reason you should prioritize these shops on the map. It is always either +1 damage or -2 cooldown, so prioritize these for your preferred main use tiles. Enchantment shops on the other hand are still random, and still come with cooldown trade-offs, so they're often not worth it if you have the choice between an enchantment shop or a stat upgrade shop. I often don't consider what type of skill shop is attached to it, because while there are helpful skills in any of them, you cannot guarantee that they're going to be helpful for you specifically. That's why I find stat upgrades more reliable and prioritize these over the skill shops on the map. Lastly, it's never worth rerolling tiles since all of them have merit, even duplicate ones. And there are no downsides to taking one, so don't skip them. In the worst case scenario, you don't end up using it and you sacrifice it for 40 gold. The modifier for Day 7 states that the corruption spreads. In effect there are two differences. The first is that now all bosses are corrupted. This slightly changes their moveset and they gain the quick property. You have seen this on Day 4 onward already, and most of the changes aren't that noteworthy, so I'm not gonna go over them in this guide. The second is that regular enemies can now also be corrupted. They don't do anything special, but when they die, a corrupted progeny will spawn in their place. These little buggers have 1 HP and will explode if you do not kill them within 3 turns, dealing 1 damage to anyone on the map. Because they only have 1 HP, it's not very hard to kill them, but you do need to be ready. Your time frame is effectively equip 1 tile, walk 1 cell, attack. If you cannot kill them within that time frame, it's not worth killing the corrupted enemy before you can. Weaken them, or wait for your cooldown so you can combo kill them. Now again, this isn't hard, but you do need to be ready and aware. So pause if you see a corrupted enemy and check if you can actually deal with their spawn in time. If you just do not rush, this modifier should not be a big issue. It should be noted that because of the corrupted progeny, getting combo kills is slightly easier, which in turn makes combo skills slightly easier to use on Day 7. These tips aren't necessarily themed, but they should help your overall gameplay. The first is to take your time. There is no punishment for being slow, and thinking prevents mistakes. Double check if your plan puts you in harm's way, especially if there are dashers or archers on the field. You can prevent a lot of damage taken if you think ahead. If you can help it, don't finish a wave with your mobility tool. This can mess up your ability to deal with bad spawns. And similarly, if you don't have to use your personal skill, it's often better to save it for the next wave. Try to put yourself to one side of the arena. That way you don't get sandwiched between two threatening enemies. The center is typically more dangerous because of this. If you are mostly on the right or the left, you can deal with the enemies one at a time. The mortar archers aren't super threatening if it's just one of them, but two can become very threatening very quickly, because if they start to alternate their shots, you will barely have any time to put tiles in your queue, let alone attack. Don't try to force a specific build you have in mind. Having a plan is good, but if the game doesn't give it to you, don't stick to it like glue. You don't have enough resources to force exactly what you want without giving up a lot of power elsewhere. At the end of a stage, check for consumables on the floor and see if there are better ones there than the ones you have. Something like Rain of Mirrors and Kami Brews are great, Mass Curse and Mass Poison maybe not so much. In shops, if you see an on deal at a Mame Brew and you already have one, you can sell the one you have and buy the on sale one, and this effectively nets you 2 free gold. Here you are at the final challenge. The Corrupted Soul is the hardest boss in the game, but if you've come this far already, you should be well prepared for this. The Corrupted Soul will start by summoning help, and after that he will try to impale you by slamming down on the floor. He will do this twice before summoning more help. These slams are your damage window, but if his center hits you or an enemy, he will immediately go back into the air, and he will lose out on that window, so try to avoid that when possible. Sometimes it cannot be helped though, and your safety is more important than damage on the boss. When he is vulnerable, he cannot be frozen, but that is his only immunity. You can curse him, poison him, push and pull him, and even teleport him. Regular enemies can hit him too. Curse and poison are removed when he goes airborne however, and you only get 3 turns to hit him, so do make it count. If you have the time, queue up attacks before he slams down, so you can get more damage off in a single window. As mentioned before, ranged attacks will shine here because you don't need to walk up to the boss to use those. Damaging the boss is obviously important, but your number 1 priority this fight should be to kill the spawning enemies as soon as you are able to. Even the less threatening ones can overwhelm you quickly because they just keep spawning. If there are too many in the room, corrupted progeny will spawn instead, basically forcing you to take guaranteed damage. Clearing the room is the single most important factor whether you win or lose this fight. If your mobility allows it, kite the Corrupted Soul around the room when he's trying to slam down. He won't change intent and summon more guys if he's trying to slam you, which lets you get your cooldowns back and clear the room. You can also hide behind the Corrupted Soul when he is on the ground and prepare attacks to kill the regular enemies after he goes airborne again. Whatever you need to do to manage the enemies, do it. It is worth sacrificing damage on the boss, because clearing the enemies will make you survive this encounter. Once you've dealt enough damage, he will enter phase 2 and call down lasers. These will act after any remaining enemies on the field, so be careful if they have the intent to attack you. After that, the fight continues like before, but the Corrupted Soul now has the quick property. The summons therefore arrive faster and the slam happens quicker too, so be cautious standing directly underneath him. But besides that, the fight is the same. It's more hectic, sure, but fundamentally little changes. So, if you keep your calm and use the same approach as before, you will beat him and claim your ultimate stamp. That's about all I got. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Good luck. You got this.